All right, Dad Bod episode 13. No more deloading. So you'll see three triples with 375 on squats. Everything went smoothly, and the weather has fluctuated quite a bit. It's been really cold a couple of days, and the last couple of days it has not been. So just trying to make the adjustment in the garage. I did get at least a temporary little space heater just from Walmart out here, but I don't think that's a permanent solution. So I will keep looking around for other options. There's the first set. As usual, you'll see me jump around a little from exercise to exercise. That's just because I record these and then edit them together in the order that they occurred. And since I'm almost always doing supersets, you'll see me jump back and forth a little bit. So you'll see some hamstring curls before I've completed all my quad exercises. I am not recording the commentary between sets on a different training day this week, so that's nice. If I'm honest, the commentary is by far the hardest part of putting these videos together. I'm going to do the training anyway, so all it takes is setting up the iPhone camera to record the sets, which does make the training take a little bit longer, but that's not a huge deal. That's pretty easy. The commentary, though, takes another 30 to 40 minutes of recording. And to be honest, I don't always enjoy doing this part, but I know that when I watch training videos, I would prefer to have some kind of context for what's going on, and just hearing someone's voice makes a video more enjoyable for me. So that's why I add these here. But I've mentioned in previous videos that I am a semi-introvert, and even though I am technically talking to myself as I record this, I do put some energy into this, and I've got a long day ahead. I have a couple things that are a little uncertain about my work schedule today, so that always adds a little bit of extra stress. So just wanted to share that. I know that in previous videos I've talked extensively about things that aren't the training. I don't know that that will happen today, other than this little rant right now, but just wanted to give you some context into what I'm doing as I record this commentary, as opposed to what's on your screen right now. And I would say that I apologize to those who hate the commentary, but then why would you be here? That's kind of up to you. And it seems that I did not mute the TV for really any of the recording this week of training, because you can hear Sam Sulik in the background on pretty much every video so far. So hopefully that's not too distracting. And so I'm into the new training block, if you haven't noticed that or you haven't watched previous videos. So I actually misspoke about the bench press training, but I'll get into that a little more as we get to the upper body day. Right here, you're seeing my last set straight into the drop set of sissy squats. So belt squat for 10, and then I take basically right at a minute rest here because I'm really just out of breath after this one. This is just a tough exercise. So get 10 here, rest about a minute, and then I get 15 sissy squats. And the lower body training days are usually pretty short in overall time, so this was probably a little under an hour of training, even with recording. So that's helpful. So I'll stay on track with talking about the training for at least the next couple of minutes. So you'll see this rest period straight into sissy squats, and then I'll explain what I meant by misspeaking on the upper body training. Yeah, right here I'm just trying to catch my breath. And I do have a quad pump too, but mostly just trying to get my breathing under control before I do the 15 sissy squats, which thankfully don't take it out of me nearly as much as something like a belt squat for 10. And I've actually seen lots of different people do sissy squats slightly differently, with slightly different amounts of lean, slightly different ranges of motion. But for me, I get a good stretch in the quads at the bottom, good extension at the top. So I'm not too worried about changing the form here. This is just kind of a burnout set to finish the quad day. And I ended up kind of going more quickly on hamstring curls. I intentionally left this set here for the end because I knew that I wouldn't want to get back to hamstring curls after doing a big burnout set like this. So the last set of hamstring curls, I had slightly less rest than what I would typically do and just went to failure. So I got like 5.8 reps. I didn't totally complete the last rep, the sixth rep, and then I just got a partial rep after that. So that's how that day ended. But yeah, on to bench press, and we're doing 4 sets of 3. So in the last video, I said that I would be doing 4 sets of 6 and 4 sets of 3, increasing the weight by 5 each week all the way through this block. But I will actually be doing one more week of 4 sets of 6 and 4 sets of 3, and then I will move to 5 sets of 6 and 5 sets of 3 for the last 2 weeks. So that's the plan. No big changes from what I said, but that's been the plan from the get-go. I just misspoke last time. So bench press felt really good today. Felt strong. This felt considerably better than the sets of 6 from the previous day. So that's good. And then you'll see one set of pull-ups. Actually, I think I recorded the last set this day too, because I thought that maybe I wouldn't complete all 8 reps, and you get to see kind of that myo rep style where I have to use more than one set to get the total reps, but actually got all 8 on the final set as well. But the last few reps were considerably slower than on this set. And I had the volume turned all the way down to 5% on these videos because I went down a Devin Larratt rabbit hole this week. Watched a couple of arm wrestling videos and then just let them keep playing. And I texted a friend about it. I think he has maybe the most intensity I've ever seen from a human being. Insane. And that intensity can sometimes result in quite a bit of volume as well. So the videos playing while I'm training here got pretty loud, and I'm not sure you'd even be able to hear the commentary over it. And on this particular day, this was a weekend, but the little one is not out here with me. Although it wasn't particularly cold on this day, but the following training session, she did end up coming out here with me, even though that was not on a weekend. So, not always predictable. And we did get the new lighting installed on the day that this training session took place, but it was later in the day. So on the next session, you'll see that it's quite a bit brighter out here. And my father-in-law did 99.9% of the work. I just basically handed him things when he needed them, supported things when he needed to wire them and things like that. But he's the one who knows what he's doing, not me. But yeah, here's the 4th set of pull-ups, and you'll see me get 8 total reps. They just take a bit longer on this set. And if you happen to be wondering about that water heater over there, I don't have any answers for you. That's how it looked when we moved into the house, and seems to be going strong at this point. Don't want to break it, so leaving it as is for now. And I am now coming back to this commentary much later in the day. I've reflected a little bit since I recorded commentary earlier, and I know that one reason I was less motivated to do this commentary this week is that we were out of caffeinated coffee at the house. If you know me well, you know that coffee is probably 35% of my personality. So that was a big deal for me. We had decaf coffee. I always keep both. That way, if I want to have afternoon coffee, I can do half cap or decaf. And in the morning, if I want to have a whole pot, I can just do lower caffeine so that I'm not jolting my system too much. But so that was part of it. I mentioned earlier that part of it was what I had on the docket at work. I have now completed the uncertain task. And by uncertain, I just mean that there was a time in the day that I knew I had to commit to doing a task. I just didn't know what that task was. And it'll be something that I'll work on here and there in the future. That's how work usually goes, but completed the gist of it this morning, and I am at least aware of what the task is now. So that stress is gone for the most part. I think most people who work jobs that have a little bit of irregularity can probably relate to that feeling. It just changes the way you think about the day. And to expand on my reflection since this morning, I've definitely had a little bit of a damper on my mood, especially in the mornings lately. It tends to improve throughout the day, but just been mentally and emotionally thinking about a lot of things at once, mostly from a professional standpoint.
I think kind of part of being an American is being not totally happy with your job. And I am an American and fall squarely into that position. And it's not like I'm working in a coal mine or anything like that. I'm not suffering every day, but I would like a change. And I've been kind of in the process of figuring out what my options are for a while. Honestly, for my entire adult life, and in some capacity, I've been doing that, but especially lately. And it just eventually takes a toll. And part of that approach to finding something new has meant that I have not prioritized playing music and booking gigs. And this probably happens once every 2 years or so. I'll get kind of in a lull for whatever perceived reason, and I'll realize that at least part of it is that I'm not playing music as much as I'd like to. I have mostly given up on playing music for a living. I'm just not sure that my personality and disposition would allow me to be happy doing that because of the time commitments and the irregularity. But I know that I'm happier when I'm playing music a little bit at least. And it's been a couple months since I played a show at all. I'm used to playing at least a couple shows a month, even on slow periods. So I've reached out to quite a few of the contacts I have, and I'll work on changing that in the near future. It helps that the little one also loves live music, whether it's me or not. And I think just being in that environment, whether I'm playing or not, will help me too. So I think we just need to go see some local, likely free live music. Although it is the worst season for it because the holidays always have other events going on. But just need to focus on my creative outlets a little more. And this channel itself is one creative outlet, so this has helped too. Um, Again, just had a lot on my mind, and it adds up. And I said earlier that I wouldn't ramble too much about things that aren't the training, but I guess we're here now, and we're talking about my mood. So obviously, politics can affect my mood. We've talked about the most recent election results quite a few times, and I don't plan to expand on that too much here, except by saying that that obviously puts a damper on things for me. And I've been pretty open about how my coworkers and I don't see eye to eye, and they have no idea. Um, so I'm just kind of stuck in that environment for now. And it's not like they're hateful towards me. I'm a white man. Um, but I've heard some shitty stuff, and I hate it. But I can't really do anything to change their way of thinking. I can't make someone who doesn't value evidence value it. And it's incredibly frustrating. Uh, and I have found too, to tie this into the fitness industry a little bit, that the same people who claim that wheat is inflammatory and bad for you, that you shouldn't eat carbs, that one packet of Splenda is going to ruin your health, tend to be the ones who fall for the conservative agenda. And I say fall for intentionally. And I tend to use conservative and Republican interchangeably, but that's not really correct at this point since there are virtually no conservative policies coming from the Republican Party. And I said earlier, fall for the conservative agenda is correct. That's not correct for every Republican. Some of them know exactly what they're voting for, and those are arguably the worst Republicans. But a lot of them, including people I know well and care a lot about, have no idea what they're voting for. And it's obvious when I have a conversation with them. I try to be patient and respectful, and I get nowhere every time. So basically, proving that what I'm saying right now is a little bit useless, except to maybe relate to some of you listening. If you've made it this far in the video, then I feel like you probably already know all of this. I appreciate you being here. And we're coming up to the end of the training video. You may have just seen me point to something off camera. That was the little one. She loves to point, and if she points at me, I'm pointing back every single time. That's what I did. And then she moved out here with me because it was 7:40ish here. She tends to get up between 7:30 and 8 a.m. So this workout went a little longer than is typical. She was ready to get up. Her mom was ready to sleep a little more, so she came out here with me for a little bit and had it on Miss Rachel. What else? And this is the last exercise you'll see, calf raises. This is my preferred way to set them up. It's just easy. It takes very little time to set it up. Just walk over here, grab a plate, and do it. So I ended up doing a set of 15 body weight, 2 sets of 12, just shifting the weight from one arm to the other, and then another set of body weight. And that was it for the day. And that is also it for DadBod episode 13. Please like, share, and subscribe if you liked it, and don't if you didn't. I appreciate it.